The saying that we value something most when it is gone sits well with the grid failure. When the grid fails, our homes are thrown into darkness. The modern comforts we rely on, our high-speed internet, the simple security of a well-lit room, our air conditioning, they all vanish. It's a moment that reminds us the importance of electricity. This is why so many people are now choosing to take control. But moving your home toward true energy independence is a serious undertaking. It requires a huge amount of money, and when you are investing at this level, you aren't just looking for a backup, you are looking for a guarantee. You want a system that doesn't just work, but one that performs under pressure. The problem is, most people focus on the battery capacity and ignore the veins of the system. You can spend a huge amount of money on the best technology in the world, but if your amperage capacity is too low, you've built a bottleneck. It's like having a powerful engine but trying to feed it fuel through a narrow straw. You'll never see the performance you actually paid for. In this 8-minute deep dive, we are going to look past the shiny brochures. We are categorizing power into 3 levels: low, medium, and high amps. We'll show you why a low amp setup might be fine for a single light bulb, but why it struggles and creates heat the moment you try to live a normal, modern life. Today, we are setting a new standard with the high amp flow. This is the heavy-duty infrastructure that allows your home to stay bright and cool, even when the rest of the neighborhood is in the dark. If you want to protect your huge amount of money, you need to understand the physics of high-capacity power. Let's start at the bottom of the ladder, the low amp trickle, and why it's the biggest risk to your home's energy future. Let's talk about the mistake that quietly drains the potential of thousands of home installations. On paper, these systems look like a bargain, but in reality, they are a bottleneck that can undermine a huge amount of money. In technical terms, this is often referred to as a low C rating. It means the battery might have the capacity to store energy, but it lacks the physical pipes to let that energy out quickly. If you try to run your dishwasher, your microwave, and your refrigerator at the same time on a low amp setup, the system begins to struggle. The result isn't just a lack of power, it's heat. When you force a high volume of current through a narrow wire, resistance builds up. This leads to that annoying flickering in your LED lights and, in worst cases, it puts unnecessary stress on the internal components of your expensive inverter. Think about it. You've spent a huge amount of money to avoid the grid failing, yet you've installed a system that effectively fails your appliances the moment they ask for real power. You are essentially trapped in a trickle-charge lifestyle, where you have to pick and choose which single light you can turn on. This is the danger zone of home energy. It's a setup that works for a small camping trailer, but for a modern family home? It's simply not enough. It creates a ceiling on your freedom that no amount of solar panels can fix. Now that you see the risk of the trickle, let's look at the middle ground, the medium amp flow, and why it's still not the final answer for true independence. For many, this feels like the logical middle ground. It's a step up from the trickle, and it handles the basics of a modern life. Your Wi-Fi stays on, your laptop charges, and your lights remain steady. But medium is often an illusion of safety. You've still committed a huge amount of money to the setup, but you are living on a knife edge. The moment your life gets busy, the moment the air conditioning kicks in at the same time the kettle starts to boil, the system reaches its physical limit. In a medium amp setup, you aren't experiencing true freedom. You are experiencing managed power. You find yourself constantly checking an app, wondering if you can turn on the oven while the laundry is running. This mental load isn't what you paid for. When you invest a huge amount of money, you shouldn't have to negotiate with your own home just to use your appliances. The danger of medium is that it's just enough to make you comfortable, but not enough to make you resilient. It lacks the burst capacity, that sudden surge of current needed to start heavy motors or heating elements. Without that extra muscle in your wiring, your expensive equipment is subjected to voltage sag, which can shorten the lifespan of your electronics over time. You didn't invest in energy storage to live a limited life. You did it to bridge the gap between getting by and thriving. And to do that, you have to move past the middle ground. It's time to look at the gold standard, the high amp flow, and why this is the only way to truly secure your investment. Now, we arrive at the professional standard, the high amp flow. This is where your huge amount of money truly translates into uncompromising performance and complete peace of mind. Forget the flickering lights and the appliance roulette. This is the infrastructure built for modern living. A high amp system is designed with what's known as a high C rating, meaning it can both charge and discharge a massive amount of power very quickly, without strain. It's like having a 6-lane highway instead of a dirt road for your energy. Your air conditioner, your electric vehicle charger, your induction stovetop, they can all run simultaneously, with zero compromise. The key here is stability. Thick, high-gauge wiring and a robust inverter keep the electrical current clean and consistent. This not only prevents inconvenient power fluctuations but also extends the life of all your sensitive electronics. You're not just powering your home, you're protecting it. When you've invested a huge amount of money in your energy independence, you deserve to use every single watt you've generated. A high amp system doesn't just save energy, It ensures you can actually use that energy whenever and however you need it, without hesitation. It transforms your home from a passive consumer into an active, self-sufficient power plant. This is the standard that delivers true resilience, true freedom, and true value for your investment. But the benefits extend beyond your four walls. Let's look at how choosing this level of quality contributes to a larger, more powerful vision for our communities. When you choose to build a high-capacity system, the impact goes far beyond your own front door. You aren't just an isolated homeowner anymore. You are a vital node in a global movement toward decentralized power. Every time someone invests a huge amount of money into a high-amp infrastructure, they are helping to stabilize the energy landscape for everyone. Imagine a world where the grid is no longer a fragile, top-down system, but a resilient web of high-performance homes. Because your system can handle massive surges of power safely, it can eventually be used to support your community. This is the concept of the virtual power plant, where your investment becomes a pillar of local stability. By avoiding the low-amp bottlenecks and choosing the professional standard, you are future-proofing your home for this connected world. As we move toward more electric vehicles and smarter homes, the demand on our wires will only increase. Those who spend a huge amount of money on thin, medium-grade setups today will find themselves upgrading again in just a few years. Choosing the high-amp flow is a decision to build once and build right. It is an investment in a global standard of reliability. You are ensuring that your home remains a source of strength, not just for your family, but for the entire energy ecosystem. This is the bigger picture, the true value of choosing quality over compromise. Now, let's wrap everything up and look at how you can make sure your next step is the right one. At the end of the day, energy independence isn't about the gadgets or the specs. It's about the life you live when the world around you is uncertain. It's about knowing that your home will stay warm, your food will stay cold, and your family will stay connected, no matter what happens to the grid. Investing a huge amount of money into a home power system is one of the most significant decisions a modern homeowner can make. But as we've seen today, that investment is only as strong as its weakest link. Don't let a few millimeters of copper be the thing that stands between you and true freedom. By choosing the high amp standard, you are choosing a system built for the real world. You are choosing a setup that respects the value of your resources and the importance of your comfort. You are building a legacy of self-reliance that will serve your household for decades to come. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the physics of home power. If you're ready to move past the trickle and into the flow, make sure to work with installers who understand the weight of your investment. Protect your huge amount of money by insisting on the high-capacity infrastructure your home deserves. Stay powered and thank you for watching.